If you're looking to start your calisthenics journey, let me help you. Let me show you how you can do it right from home with literally no equipment whatsoever, just your body weight. And if you're a beginner, this is gonna be perfect for you because I'm gonna go over the 5 foundational points that you need to focus on while you're trying to learn. If you stick to these 5, it's gonna cut your learning curve in half. It's gonna help you avoid injury. It's gonna help you build strength and see progress faster. If you're ready, let's dive in. All right, the first thing I need you to understand is reps do not matter. Now, why would I say that? I say that because everybody's so focused on being able to do 20 push-ups, 20 pull-ups, that you see them do stuff like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, or even worse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, they're doing reps. They're just not doing real reps. They're not doing full range of motion reps. What's really important when you're a beginner is to train the full spectrum of muscles that are used in each skill. So if we take a push-up, for example, if you're just worried about reps and you're just moving your head, barely bending your elbows, or just doing this, you're just working triceps. But the entire push-up movement works way more muscles in the body if you do a perfect push-up. So if my wrists are under my elbows, under my shoulders, and instead of having weak shoulders where I'm just pushing like this, I press through my scapula. Now my scapula, my shoulder blades engaged. I'm squeezing my glutes, my butt, my back, and I'm in plank position. So my core is engaged the whole time that I'm doing a push-up. Now I'm not thinking about my butt, my back, my core, because the dominant muscle of a push-up is really the chest and secondary the triceps. So if I come down all the way down in nice good form at the bottom, because I'm not here, because I'm here, what that's allowing is my pecs to expand the way that they need to, stretching the muscle, and then I compress as I come to the top. Now, if you're looking to build strength or size, the best way to do that is not the end of a range of a movement, it's when that muscle group is the most elongated. So what that means is this part of a push-up does the least in building strength and size, where this part of a push-up would do the most because my pec is fully expanded. It's at the end of its stretch, of its range of motion. So again, don't focus on reps. I can do 1 rep of push-ups over the course of 30 seconds, 15 seconds down. I'm not gonna do it because I don't wanna bore you on camera. And then 15 seconds up. And if I did good form, I'm actually gonna be tired. My muscles will be tired, similar to doing 20 bad reps. So it's not about the reps, it's about the full range of motion. If you're doing dips, you wanna make sure that you come into the full range of a dip, because just doing here isn't gonna help build the strength that you need. And because calisthenics skills are so dynamic, if you're doing a handstand push-up, you don't wanna just do this, you wanna be able to come all the way down and then engage back up. The only way you're gonna get that strength is by training the full range of motion. So stop thinking about reps. What you need to understand is the reps aren't important. It's actually just making sure that your body is exerting itself enough that it's challenged so that it can change. If you wanna build strength, the best way to do that is time under tension. Time under tension means putting your muscle groups under tension, under strain for long enough that they're working long enough, they're working hard enough, and that's how you see the growth in size and in strength. If you're only doing push-ups or pull-ups and the set only takes you 10 or 15 seconds, you're not doing enough, you're not gonna notice those gains, you're not gonna get those results. All right, now let's discuss core strength. Now, core strength and abs are completely different. Your core is all of the muscles surrounding your spine here in the midsection. It's not just your abs. The abs that you see on the outside also have a back side. So you have your exterior and your posterior and anterior abs. What you're looking at is just the abs that I show, but I could be weak on the inside. And that's why having a six-pack is not really as important as having good core strength. Now, when you do a bench press at the gym, right? Your core is not engaged, your legs are not engaged, it's just chest. Half the time, people arch just to make it all about lifting as much weight as possible. Now, if you are performing push-ups instead of bench press, because this is a calisthenics video, and this is honestly one of the reasons that I think calisthenics gets you the best results when it comes to your physique, is because instead of just doing a bench press where you're only training that chest, when you're in push-ups, like I explained before, I'm also, what other position am I in when I'm doing push-ups like this? Does this look familiar? Plank position. Sometimes people hold planks for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or even a minute to train that core. Now, if you've ever held a plank, you know this is bad plank position, this is bad plank position. You need to be here, you need to squeeze your butt, because again, your core doesn't just stop in your midsection. Everything in your body is connected. You need to have strong glutes, connected to strong core, connected to the spine muscles that are in your back that need to be strong. All of this is important in core strength. So while you're doing those push-ups, think about squeezing your core. Don't just let your core get weak because you're focusing on the chest. Squeeze that core. What I want you to think about, see these ribs where my hands are overhead? And this is relevant for a handstand as well. If I'm in a handstand and my arms are overhead, see how my ribs flare up? What I want to train when I get better at this core strength is tucking that rib muscle. See what I just did? My spine's here. Now I'm in hollow body form. Hollow body is going to be essential in calisthenics. And I'll show you how you can check your hollow body form. Let me go this way. So if I lay on the ground, hands above my head, notice this space that comes underneath my back. Make sure the microphone's not in the way so you guys can see it. So notice this space. Now that's natural because your spine has natural curvature. But what I want to do is build that hollow body core strength so I can tuck these ribs. See that ribs flared out? Just like it would be in a handstand, but to have a straight handstand, to have a flat front lever, back lever, we need to be able to tuck those ribs and remove this space from under the spine. Now my lumbar, my lower back, is pressed into the ground, but that's not enough. Now let's lift your feet, lift your arms, and just hold. That's your hollow body core strength. So this position is what you want when you're in push-up. You don't want to be here, you want to be in hollow body. Same thing ideally when you're in handstand. Same thing when you're in front lever. Same thing when you're doing a lot of these different movements in calisthenics. Your core is always engaged. This is why people that do calisthenics get shredded abs without really doing many crunches or sit-ups. They're not training that. While they're doing push-ups, they're working core. Front levers, core. Planche, core. Handstand push-up, core. Your core is involved in everything. So make sure that you're able to activate the right muscles. Make sure you're training it. And this position I showed you is called boat pose in yoga. This is one great way to train your core, but you don't need to just do core exercises. Like I explained, if you're conscious and you're thinking about your abs while you're working out, you'll be training it. Every single time I do push-ups, the first thing I do is I come here and then I set my core. So I'll get in a push-up position and then I set my core. I suck my belly button in, I tuck these ribs, I tighten my core, I squeeze my butt, and now my push-ups are strong and my core is being used the whole time. And now I'm gonna build my chest, I'm gonna build my tries, and I'm gonna get those shredded abs at the same time. All right, I don't even think I need to tell you this next one, but all the time that you spend sitting on the couch watching TV can help you with your calisthenics training if you get off the couch and you slide down to the floor. Now the first thing is when you're sitting on the couch like this, your glutes are shut off, your back's in bad position. It's honestly more detrimental for your body. It's not even really relaxing. If you want to relax and you don't feel like moving, get on the floor, use the couch as back support, get yourself into a straddle, sit up and watch TV. From here, even without consciously working out, you can lean towards a toe, you can start to stretch. Now, a lot of people, when they start calisthenics, they only train strength and therefore they get really tight hips. If you want to be able to planche, you're going to start with a straddle planche. If you want to be able to lever, you're going to start with a straddle lever. And when I say straddle, legs out to the side. When you're starting calisthenics, lever length, if your legs are together doing a movement, it's much harder just because of the balance of things. So you start as a beginner first in a tuck, then in a straddle, and this helps you start to build the strength. But to be able to straddle properly, and I mean straddle like you can be in a straddle here instead of legs straight together, much harder. But you need to be able to have that flexibility. So you need to be able to get on the floor and train that. So I also have this, a meditation pillow, a couple bucks, or you can use a yoga block. If you don't have the flexibility, you can elevate your butt. Now you can start to lean over. Now what a lot of people don't consider is, in the same way I said reps are not important, how far you lean into a stretch is not important. It's not about the distance if you're not doing it right. And I'll give you an example. Right now, I'll do it this way. Right now, if I want to touch my toes, I touch my toes. But look at my back. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. If I touch my toes, look at my back. So is this really my hamstring flexibility that I'm training by reaching towards my toes? A lot of people think so. But what I'm really doing is I'm just cheating by bending my back. This is my back flexibility. It's not my hamstrings. If I wanted to only train hamstring flexibility, I would set my back right here like this. It's set. Now I reach for my toes without bending my back. This is where my hamstring allows me to go. Watch, if I want to touch my toes, that all came from my back. So think about that. It's not about touching your toes. It's not about stretching as far as you can. It's about being in the proper form with your body to get what you're looking for out of an exercise. So if I want to train to get a better straddle, hands above my head, my back is set. And what I mean set is my spine is straight or arched. It's not flexed, it's arched. From here, I lean, and even if I can only go 6 inches, now I'm going 6 inches into a new space. And what happens when you stretch? See, there's passive stretching where I just do this and I sit for a minute. All that's doing is elongating my tendons. And when I come out of the stretch, they're gonna stay stretched, but they're gonna go back. What I would prefer, and this is why I don't believe in passive stretching, I believe in active mobility, is if you're actively engaging, for me to come back up every time, I have to push my heels into the ground. I have to use the full length of my hamstring to push myself back up. What I'm doing is I'm training that brain muscle connection for my brain to understand that it's okay to move my body in this new range of motion. But being on the floor is not just about stretching. That part's very important. This is actually where I learned the handstand. I was spending so much time on the floor stretching and playing around that I would go like this and I'd sink into my hands. I started feeling what the floating sensation was like, and little by little, week after week, I started building more strength where I wasn't holding the handstand this low. I had the strength to be a little bit closer to lockout. And I did that, and I was like, oh my God, I just did a handstand. And it all came from playing on the floor. All right, train your body, not just the skill. What do I mean? So if you're trying to learn a handstand, for instance, what I commonly see is people that just go outside or they do it inside and they just practice handstand, meaning all they do is just keep kicking up, keep kicking up, keep kicking up. Now this isn't bad, eventually you can learn that way, but what you're not doing is your body's not under the tension that I mentioned earlier for you to actually build strength. Now where do you need to build strength for a handstand? You need it in your forearms, you need it in your shoulders, you need it in your core, you need it in a lot of places. So just like any other athletic thing, you need to train your body for that skill. So what does that mean? Instead of just doing handstands, there's plenty of handstand strength exercises you can do. From here, I'm gonna do handstand walks. Put my hands down, transition, feel that floating sensation. I can do that coming forward too. I can also do pike push-ups, where I'm here, and if I'm trying to learn a handstand push-up, but I can't do a handstand, this is one of the only ways I can really build strength for it. Bringing our head in front of our hands in pike position. If that's too easy, get your feet up on an elevated surface, walk your hands back, elevated pike push-ups. You can also just do push-ups. And what all of these are gonna allow to do is, like I said before, it's gonna help you build the strength. So the next time you go to do a handstand, you have stronger grip strength. Your contact with the floor is more secure, more strong, better foundation. And that's what you need to build the skills. So whether a handstand, whether a front lever, whether a planche, make sure that you're training the muscles necessary for that movement, build the strength, and train the skill, because the skill training is really just in your mind. The strength training is in your body. When you put 2 and 2 together, that's how you nail it. And if you're training at home and you don't have any equipment, you of course can invest in a doorway pull-up bar. That's one that I suggest, pretty affordable. You can invest in some parallettes. Those are parallel bars that are perfect for the floor, so you can train L-sits, handstands, those kind of things, but you don't need them. You can just get creative. So for instance, I don't have the best kitchen table to do this on, but it is workable. So I'm gonna get underneath my kitchen table, I'm gonna grab the side of it, and from here, I can train my pull muscles. And it's hard to train pull muscles if there's nothing to pull on. So I can do that grip, I can come to the edge of the table, I can do this grip, I can put my feet up, make it even harder. So, what's great about calisthenics is because we're using our body weight, you can train anywhere. You just need to be able to think about, how can I train these muscles? How can I put in a little bit more work? How can I train my grip, my back, my shoulders, my biceps, etc. So the table, that's one great option. Now coming from my table, I just stole 2 bar stools. Well, with these 2 bar stools or table chairs, I can actually use these as pretty good parallettes. Now I can practice parallel bar training. I can get strong just holding static. If you're a beginner, you want to get good at holding static, not letting your shoulders sink to your ears, but getting strong in the full hold from your core to your shoulders to your forearms. From here, look at this. I can make them a little bit more sturdy if I turn them on their side. And now I can come up into handstand. So I don't even need the parallettes to be able to train handstand. I don't even need a pull-up bar to be able to do pull-ups on my table. Get creative, guys. That's how it's gonna make the difference. And all of that creativity, if you can do it at home in your comfortable space, is gonna help add up to you getting the results in your calisthenics journey. All right, guys, let me just sum it up by saying this. If you're a beginner, I'm honestly jealous, because there are so many levels to calisthenics. Even after I've been doing this sport for 10 years, there's still something else to learn. There's still somebody doing something with more strength, with one hand, with one finger, you name it. As a beginner, you have nowhere to go but up, which should honestly be one of the most motivating things. That means every day, every week, every month, you're gonna notice very clear results if you stick to the principles that I gave you in this video, if you stick to your training. Guys, again, I'm Adam Frater. I hope you got a lot out of this. Hit the like button, hit the comments, let me know what else you want me to make a video on. I'll see you guys on the next one. Happy training.